I fucking love Halo, and Microsoft does too. Out of all the exclusives Xbox has, all 7 of them, Halo is still the one Microsoft desperately clutches onto to this day. So much so that when Halo 3 was set to be the finale of the franchise with this tagline, Microsoft told Bungie to fuck off and created a brand new studio whose sole purpose was to never stop making Halo games. Too bad, not a lot of people like them. But that's not the point. The point is that 20 years later, Halo and Master Chief are still the face of Xbox. This franchise still represents this console. But why? What made these games so great that it's represented Xbox for so long? What made this original title so good that it made the original Xbox a legitimate threat to Sony, Nintendo, and Sega? A threat to Nintendo and Sega. And is Halo 1 still as amazing as everyone remembers? Well, let's dive to a fuck ton of elites, get swarmed by the Flood, and answer that question. This is how Halo Combat Evolved holds up 20 years later. Fuck the multiplayer, this is what Halo's really all about. A badass story with a badass protagonist that murders thousands of annoying aliens on his journey. It's fucking awesome. I can only imagine how amazing this game must have been back in 2001. You know, too bad the first time I played this game was in 2013, because I was an idiot kid who thought Call of Duty was the only good FPS and defended it to my dying breath. It was only until 2013 when I got Halo CE, the Anniversary Edition, and played it that I realized how much of a dumbass I really was. The campaign alone is absolutely amazing. The mission designs are just incredible. There is so much variety, so much depth to how you can engage in a fight. You can go in Rambo style and just rush in with your AR and fucking murder everyone in your way. Or get murdered, that works too. Of course, on Legendary mode, which is what I played this game on for this review, this tactic doesn't work very well. So you gotta resort to what I call the little bitch tactic. This is the little bitch tactic. But that's just 2 options. We haven't even talked about what weapons you choose, how they can completely change the course of the mission, how if you leave a sniper behind in a sniping mission, then that mission's probably going to be fairly difficult for you. You also got these stealth sections. I'm not very good at these stealth sections. Oh, I certainly tried, like I do pretty good here. But then these tiny bitches start screaming and attract everyone within a 30-mile radius and turn what was a stealth section into a living nightmare. This is just a brief explanation of the mission design in this game and why it's so amazing. Some missions you could go in on foot, or you can take a vehicle and cut through half of it with ease. Some sections turn into an escort mission where you have to protect Keyes, who seems to be hell-bent on blowing himself up. Sometimes you have Marines helping you out, and if you keep all your Marines alive, then that can make the mission a lot easier. Too bad these Marines have the attention span of a raccoon on a cocaine trip. This guy really walked up to me just to say that. There are entire sections and groups of enemies that you can ignore, like here where I could fight everyone here like the game intended, or I could just try to snatch the Banshee before the Covenant noticed. I could go on and on, but the average duration of these videos is about 3 minutes, so I'll just be wasting everyone's time. Just know that the mission design is absolutely incredible, and each mission has this much variety in it, and is this open-ended. Another thing Halo does better is the enemy types. In Call of Duty, the enemy types can be summed up as guy with gun that dies immediately, and very occasionally, armored guy with gun that takes a long time to die. Then you got Halo, 2001, and they have like 10 fucking enemy types. You got the grunts, who are just shit at everything and run away like little bitches. Then you have the jackals, who hide behind their dumb shield, pissing me off. Then you have the elite, who are just as powerful as you and will absolutely whoop your ass if you're not careful. Seriously, these guys made me rage so bad that I broke the fucking sound barrier.
Where the fuck? Huh? Dave! Hit the fucking away! You idiot!
Then you have the hunters, who are just fucking massive tanks, eating everything you throw at them, while at the same time blowing you the hell up. But that's just the Covenant's enemy types. We haven't even talked about the Flood, these terrifying zombie monsters that just rush you to the ends of the earth with no care whether they live or die. And they turn Halo from what was a game where I hide like a little bitch waiting for my shield to recharge to a game where I run like a little bitch trying to stop them from eating me. It is an awesome change of pace, and there's a massive variety of enemy types even with these guys. You got the Infection form, who are just a bunch of tiny little pieces of popcorn that explode in one hit but attempt to overwhelm you in numbers. Then you got the combat form who fucking never stop rushing and jumping and shooting at you. You have that one asshole with the rocket launcher who constantly fucking makes you explode. Then there's the carrier form, where just these fat asses that hide in the shadows and surprise attack you by exploding. And if you survive the explosion, don't worry, they release a fuck ton of popcorn to finish you off. In this 20-year-old game, you have 8 enemy types, including the Sentinels, and they all bring different tactics and make you engage the fights in different ways. The Covenant, you fight them a lot more tactically, hiding behind cover, making sure your shield is okay, picking your fights very wisely. While with the Flood, you just book it the hell out of there and try to survive the endless hordes coming at you. It's fucking awesome. The entire campaign is awesome. Unique missions, set pieces, cool and unique weapons, different and unique enemies, and all of this with a pretty good story that'll keep you engaged to the credits. I don't know about you, but to me, that's a good ass campaign. Now I know I said fuck the multiplayer earlier, but I've got to say, the multiplayer is good as fuck. I know the original Halo on the original Xbox didn't have online multiplayer and only had local multiplayer, but I played the Master Chief Collection, which has online multiplayer, so it feels fitting to put this in here. Now technically this multiplayer isn't 20 years old, since the online component came out with the Anniversary Edition back in 2011. But at the same time, it technically is 20 years old, since the weapons and maps and all that stuff were in the original. So I'm gonna keep saying that the multiplayer is 20 years old, alright? But I must say, having not played Halo multiplayer since around 2015 with Halo 3, I am garbage at this game. Like, really bad. Majority of the times I go negative. Why the fuck, bro? Okay, I cannot catch a break. I'm getting my ass kicked this match.
I mean, you do suck ass, so I'm not really surprised.
I do suck ass. I'm actually terrible at Halo.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said that. You suck dick.
But even though I'm getting my ass kicked, I'm still having so much fun. The multiplayer is addicting. You don't want to stop. When you lose a fight you could have easily won, you want to keep playing and get better. And I feel like I was getting better near the end. Killing people takes a long time, but once you do get them, it's satisfying as fuck. And when two Spartans with full health and equal ammo come face to face alone, that 1v1 is intense as fuck. But on the opposite end, when it's a mode like King of the Hill, and the entire team is on the flag, while the entire opposing team is charging them trying to take it, those are some of the most chaotic but fun moments any multiplayer game can give you. There is so much variety to these matches and maps. Some matches will be reasonably calm, with you mostly engaging in 1v1s, or 2v1s, or just fighting from a distance, and this is because of the mostly excellent maps. They're all so different from one another and encourage different behaviors and engagements. Sure, there are some stinkers here. Rat Race, for example, which is just a bunch of fucking hallways with some shields thrown around to hide behind. Hang 'em High is decent, but it's just so fucking huge, and everyone at the top of the map just cleans house. Boarding action as well. It's unique. I'll give it that. Not great, but unique. Chiron TL34 has a confusing name, which is fitting because it's a confusing mess of a map. And I think that's all the maps that I didn't like. Everything else is either decent or great. Chill Out is great with everyone battling for a rocket launcher in the center of the map. Prisoner is great with 2 floors that are easy to go up and down and constant action. And speaking of constant action, Derelicit. This map, by far the smallest map in the game, you won't be able to take a break to let your shield recharge. It can be a bit annoying, but it's fun as fuck at the same time, the constant action. Battle Creek is also very fun, an open map with 2 fortresses on each end, and on Capture the Flag especially, this map is a GOAT. Every one of these maps has their own set weapons, which balances the maps out all very well, so there isn't people running around with shotguns on Derelicit. Oh wait, there are shotguns on this tiny ass map. Well, fuck balance then, never mind. And that's probably my biggest issue with the multiplayer. The balance. Now, I'm not too surprised that the balance is off, considering that this game is 20 years old. Hell, even modern games struggle with good balance. But there is a gun in this game that is so broken that literally everyone uses it. The pistol. Now, to people who haven't played Halo, that may sound ridiculous. A pistol being the most broken weapon in the game? That's stupid. But trust me, it's not. This little thing is a fucking beast with potential 3-shot kill, which is fucking deadly in Halo, where most guns take up to 8 shots to kill. Hell, it even has a 2-time scope, just in case somebody's a bit further out. At any range, close and long, this thing is an absolute beast, to the point where every one-on-one fight against another Spartan turns into both of them aggressively switching to their pistols, missing all 9 of their shots, and then trying to aggressively pistol whip each other until either one of them dies or both of them blow up by a loose grenade. Honestly, I would complain about this gun, and I am, it's bullshit, but it saved my ass more times than I can count in the campaign, so I'm not too angry at it. Other than that, some bad maps, some bad balancing, there really isn't any negatives in this multiplayer. It's all mostly positives. Whether you're good or bad, the multiplayer is fun, no matter what, and in the end, that's all that really matters. This game is absolutely incredible. Campaign and multiplayer are both top tier. If you're a fan of FPSs but have never played Halo, I seriously recommend rethinking your decision, because you're sorely missing out on, without a doubt, one of the greatest FPSs, hell, one of the greatest video games of all time, even 20 years later. The final verdict, and this was a hard one for me, I bounced it around in my head a lot. Originally, I was going to give this game a 9 out of 10, but the bad balance and some of its age brings it down, unfortunately. The final verdict for Halo Combat Evolved is an 8 out of 10. Like I said, if the pistol was balanced just a little bit more, this game could have easily gotten away with a 9 or even a 10 out of 10. But as it stands, to me, it's an 8 out of 10. Still an amazing game. And that is how Halo Combat Evolved holds up 20 years later.